The coastlines of our world, those dynamic and ever-shifting boundaries, are places of extraordinary beauty, where the vastness of the ocean meets the solid ground in a breathtaking display. They are also places of incredible vitality, teeming with life and activity, a constant hub of interaction between nature and humanity. For millennia, stretching back through the annals of time, humanity has been drawn to these dynamic margins, these liminal spaces that offer both opportunity and challenge. It is where land meets sea, a meeting point that has shaped civilizations and defined cultures. Coastal cities have blossomed into centers of thriving activity, culture, innovation, and artistic expression. Trade, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas across vast distances, and innovation, pushing the boundaries of technology and design. They are home to hundreds of millions of people, a testament to the enduring appeal of coastal living. Yet these cherished cities now face an unprecedented threat, a challenge that could reshape their very existence. The proximity to the sea, that once nurtured their growth and prosperity, now exposes them to growing danger, a vulnerability that demands our immediate attention. Climate change, driven by human activity and our collective choices, is altering our planet in profound ways, leaving an indelible mark on our environment and our future. This is especially true for those along the world's shorelines, who are on the front lines of this global crisis. Subtle shifts in weather patterns, the increasing intensity of storms, more frequent inundations, as rising tides encroach further inland, and the slow creep of the sea relentlessly eroding coastlines are now observable phenomena, measurable changes that cannot be ignored. These are not isolated incidents, confined to specific locations, but part of a global pattern, an interconnected web of consequences stemming from a single root cause. This is signaling a new, more challenging phase, a critical juncture in our relationship with the coast, demanding a fundamental shift in our approach. Understanding this vulnerability, recognizing the extent of the challenge, is the first step, the essential foundation towards safeguarding these habitats, protecting these vital ecosystems for generations to come, ensuring a sustainable future for coastal communities. The challenge before us, the task that lies ahead, is to recognize the scale of the threat, to fully grasp the magnitude of the problem, and respond with the same creativity, ingenuity that built these remarkable places, the same spirit of innovation that shaped these coastal cities. The future of these vibrant communities, the fate of these coastal populations, depends on our willingness, our collective determination, to confront the realities, to face the hard truths of a changing climate, and to act decisively to mitigate its impacts. The sea has always been a powerful force, a source of both wonder and destruction. Now more than ever, as its power is amplified by climate change, we must respect its changing nature and work in harmony with it to build a more resilient future. The primary driver behind the escalating challenges facing our coastal regions, and indeed the entire planet faced by our coastal cities, is global warming. This phenomenon is not just a distant threat, it's a present-day reality reshaping our coastlines. Increased greenhouse gases, mainly from burning fossil fuels, are trapping heat within our atmosphere, leading to a cascade of environmental changes, are causing sea levels to rise. This happens through thermal expansion of seawater, as warmer water occupies a larger volume, and the melting of glaciers and ice sheets, which adds even more water to our oceans. Even small increases in sea level can have dramatic consequences for low-lying areas, higher tides, more destructive storm surges, and permanent inundation, threatening homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure. Climate change is also intensifying extreme weather events, fueling more powerful storms and heavier rainfall. When these surges coincide with higher sea levels, their destructive potential is magnified, leading to unprecedented levels of devastation. Natural defenses like mangroves and reefs are also under threat, weakened by pollution and ocean acidification, increasing vulnerability. The very foundations of coastal life, the homes, the businesses, the ecosystems, are being undermined by these powerful, interconnected forces. Understanding these mechanisms is essential if we are to protect the intricate web of life they support. The impacts of climate change, once a distant threat, are now a stark reality. We're seeing its effects unfold in real time, particularly in our coastal regions, are being felt acutely, disrupting lives and livelihoods in ways we never fully anticipated. The rising tides and increasingly frequent extreme weather events are pushing coastal communities to their limits. by people in coastal cities worldwide. From bustling metropolises to small island communities, no coastal area is immune to the challenges posed by our changing climate. In Venice, Italy, flooding events have increased dramatically, transforming the city's iconic landmarks into watery reflections of a troubling future, threatening daily life and cultural heritage. The very foundations of this historic city are under siege, as rising waters erode its past and cast a shadow over its future. In island nations like the Maldives and Tuvalu, the threat is even more existential. Even modest sea level rise means the loss of land and fresh water, resources essential for survival, forcing people to consider leaving their ancestral homes, a heartbreaking decision driven by the relentless advance of the sea. Jakarta, Indonesia, faces severe flooding, a recurring nightmare for its residents. From both rising seas and land subsidence, a dangerous combination that is rapidly reshaping the city's coastline, prompting plans to relocate the capital, a drastic measure that underscores the severity of the situation. Miami, Florida experiences sunny day flooding, a surreal phenomenon that highlights the insidious nature of sea level rise, with saltwater intruding into streets and infrastructure, corroding the city from within. These examples, from ancient cities to modern metropolises, serve as stark reminders that the consequences of climate change are not confined to a single region. Show a world already grappling, often with limited resources, with the consequences of a changing coastline. The evidence is undeniable, and the need for action is urgent. The threat is not distant, a problem for future generations to solve. It is here, reshaping lives and landscapes, demanding our immediate attention and action. The most vulnerable often contribute least to the problem, their carbon footprint minimal, yet face the gravest risks, bearing the brunt of a crisis they did little to create. These stories are a warning, a siren call urging us to confront the climate crisis head-on, and a call to action. It's time to protect our coastlines, our communities, and our future. And the encroachment of the sea has deeply personal consequences for millions living in coastal cities. Saltwater intrusion can make homes uninhabitable long before they're submerged, corroding foundations and damaging infrastructure. The constant threat of flooding creates anxiety and uncertainty, eroding the sense of security a home should provide. Displacement fragments communities, disrupts social networks, and burdens families emotionally and financially. Children are especially vulnerable, facing interrupted education and long-lasting psychological effects. The threat is not distributed equally. Marginalized communities are hit first and hardest, often lacking resources to adapt or relocate. Addressing these impacts requires a focus on equity and justice, ensuring support reaches those most in need. The loss of a home is more than physical. It's the loss of memories, belonging, and community. Protecting homes means protecting the heart of coastal life. Coastal cities are dynamic centers of economic activity, with many livelihoods tied to the sea. Fisheries are threatened by rising sea temperatures and ocean acidification, disrupting marine ecosystems and food security. Tourism suffers as beaches erode and coral reefs bleach, while extreme weather deters visitors and damages businesses. Ports, vital for global trade, are vulnerable to rising tides and storm surges, disrupting supply chains and economies. Damage to infrastructure like power plants and transportation networks can cripple economic activity. Higher insurance premiums, or lack of insurance, make it harder for businesses and individuals to recover. The economic ripple effects extend far beyond the coast, affecting national and international markets. The assets that make coastal cities attractive are being degraded, threatening jobs and growth. The challenge is to adapt and innovate, securing livelihoods for the future. To protect against the advancing sea, many cities are turning to engineering solutions. Seawalls, levees, and breakwaters offer protection, but are costly and can disrupt natural processes. Hard defenses may shift erosion elsewhere and require ongoing maintenance. Increasingly, cities are embracing nature-based solutions, restoring mangroves, salt marshes, and oyster reefs to act as natural buffers. These green infrastructures absorb wave energy, reduce storm surges, and enhance biodiversity. Elevating critical infrastructure and enforcing stricter building codes are also key strategies. While these measures increase resilience, they demand significant investment and long-term planning. The challenge is to implement solutions at a scale and pace that matches the threat. Working with nature, not just against it, offers sustainable protection. The future of coastal defense lies in innovation and adaptation. In some areas, managed retreat, moving people and assets away from high-risk zones, is becoming necessary. This strategy acknowledges that holding the line against the sea isn't always feasible or desirable. Relocation is complex, involving not just homes but entire communities, livelihoods, and cultures. Successful retreat requires community engagement, careful planning, and financial support. Examples like Isle de Jean-Charles in Louisiana show both the challenges and the importance of preserving cultural heritage. Managed retreat is not defeat, but a pragmatic response to unavoidable realities. It represents a shift from resisting nature to strategically adapting. As sea levels rise, retreat will become a more prominent and sometimes necessary option. The future of coastal cities depends on the choices we make now. One path is continued high emissions and insufficient action, leading to accelerating sea level rise, more severe storms, and escalating crises. Iconic cities could face regular flooding, massive economic losses, and widespread displacement. The alternative is a global effort to reduce emissions, invest in adaptation, and transition to a low-carbon economy. Limiting warming slows sea level rise and buys time for adaptation. This path requires ambition, innovation, and international cooperation. Coastal cities can then implement robust defenses, integrate nature-based solutions, and plan relocations with compassion. The choice is between escalating crisis and a sustainable, resilient future. Our ingenuity and collective will can shape which future unfolds. The story of coastal cities is not just one of loss, it's also about resilience and hope. Around the world, people are mobilizing, developing new technologies, and restoring natural defenses. Grassroots initiatives and ambitious city plans are shifting the narrative from inevitable loss to proactive adaptation. Human innovation can now be channeled toward securing the future of our coastlines. This requires not just technology, but social and political will, and a sense of shared responsibility. Educating the next generation is vital. They will inherit and shape the coastlines of tomorrow. Our ability to work together and embrace change will determine the resilience of our cities. The challenge is immense, but so is our capacity for courage, creativity, and hope.